Hey everyone, welcome back. Can I be honest with you? Something's been bugging me for a while now and I need to talk about it with you guys. When I'm searching on YouTube for new video game music to listen to, I find a glaring discrepancy between how things are presented between the Sega Genesis and the Super Nintendo. Often things will be a Genesis version or Genesis remix when the Sega is in question. But when the Super Nintendo shows up, it's always in the style of a game and not the system. So for instance, a title for a Genesis remix would be like Chrono Trigger Corridors of Time Genesis version. And for the Super Nintendo it would be like Sonic the Hedgehog Starlight Zone Mega Man X style. It's not referring to the system or 16-bit or anything like that. The NES has a similar issue, but not quite the same, where everything is referred to as 8-bit music, even though there are many different chips that could be considered 8-bit. But back to the topic at hand. Why does it seem that the Sega is less dependent on the style of a certain game than an all-encompassing style that blankets over all Sega Genesis games? Well, I've thought about it long and hard, and the answer is honestly simpler than you would think. I believe it's because the capabilities of the SNES make it extremely versatile in what kind of music it can make. Because it has a whopping 8 sample channels with some interesting quirks, you can simply import your own sounds and synths to each channel. That makes it so much more direct when you want a specific sound or style to your game, as opposed to spending a couple of hours fiddling around with FM synthesis until you find something that's kind of close to what you're supposed to be emulating. Don't get me wrong, I'm a Sega fanboy through and through, and will work tirelessly to convince people that the system is just as capable as the SNES. However, you can't deny that there's some things that the YM2612 chip struggles to do in comparison. That's why it's wild when ChiptunedRaijin uploads something like this. It legitimately blows our mind because of the technical ability behind making all of those instruments sound so close to how they sounded originally. In other words, it's an achievement to make something sing on a Sega Genesis, whereas it's less interesting to hear some samples play in Green Hill Zone. Now, once again, I need to clarify that I am not here to belittle either system's music. Just point out the approach that people take when naming the content itself. Some of my favorite music ever is made on the SNES, and I don't think I could, in fact, accept it on any other console, even if it is really well done. Regardless, for the SNES, it makes more sense to categorize things in the style of a specific game, rather than the system itself. After all, the SNES can sound like whatever it wants. Alright, I've ranted and raved long enough. If you have any thoughts about this subject, be sure to let me know in the comments down below, because I'm a nerd and I love talking about stuff like this. Also, be sure to check out ChiptunedRaijin. He's such an inspiration to all of us chiptune artists out here, so show some love. His channel will be in the description below. Alright everyone, have a good one. Later.